Okay, so God's telling me a couple things. You know how I say, like, Jesus is chunky? Jesus is chunked into multiple people, right, that we see. So people who are chunky, like me, embody Jesus. Isn't that so fun, guys? So anybody who's chunky took on Jesus, embodies Jesus, because Jesus is chunky. And you go through, like, a lot of, like, bullying and ostracization and all the things that Jesus went through by being chunky down here, okay? If you are trans, you are the embodiment of God down here, because God is both feminine and masculine energies. Same with gay people who, like, kind of embody the other thing, because they go through, like, the ostracization and all that stuff too. So they are also, but they're God and Jesus. Isn't that cool? Well, God, so the chunky people aren't God. We're just Jesus. Trans people and gay people are God and Jesus. So it's like you won the lotto. Bing, 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 bing. You wanted both experiences during Ascension. God's like, okay, I'm going to hand out all these prizes. What do you want to be when you go down there? And you're like, I want to be God and Jesus. And you're like, ooh, that's going to be like a really hard life. And so that's what God was saying is like, you know how in the Bible it's like, you shall do greater work than these, you know, with Jesus or whatever. Okay, so like I'm a big chunk of Jesus, I'm PR Jesus, and I'm like, I'm just a white story. I'm a white person's story in the Matrix. Just you wait until you hear a black person's story in the fucking Matrix of hell. Just you wait until you hear all these other stories of people who experience hell down here. There are people who experience much worse hells than I did, even though mine was like really rough and shit. It's like mine was just mentally tough. There's people who literally had physically hard hells. And I've already like seen a bunch of people. There's this one girl, I forget her name. Dang it, I forget her name. But she's this like white girl who went through some shit with her family. And these Mormon fucking families are nutso, bro. There's this other girl who's like, dad married her sister or something. So that's what Jesus meant by you shall do greater work than I, or these, or whatever the hell it is in the Bible, is that there are people who have like crazier stories. You know, like that's why I say we're like all Jesus, because if you went through hell. You know, and that's like the intersectionality of New Earth. Like intersectionality is like when you've had multiple things that make this place hell on earth. Like being black makes this place hell on earth. Being fat makes this place, you know, hell on earth. Being gay makes this place hell on earth. So if you are fat, black, and gay, holy shit, intersectionality of hell. That's what it is. That's what it is. So isn't that great? So then we have like, so those experiences are like Jesus. And then there's obviously like Satan down here who like who made people feel that way. So, but we're going to learn that everybody had a little bit of both. You know, some people just had like, it's like that, it's the Divergent series, guys, where, you know, they like scan the thing and then Tris is like 100% Divergent and then somebody else is like 85 and then somebody else is like 60. That is exactly the percentage of Jesus that is in you right now. So even like Donald Trump probably has like 10% Jesus, which I know is like crazy to think about, but I bet you he's like kind of nice to like his golf buddies or something. Maybe not. But maybe he's got like 1% of Jesus, you know, like that kind of shit. And then people over here, we got like 95. We're like almost like pure Jesuses, right? Ugh. That's a little, but you have to earn that through soul lives. It's not that we're better than anybody else. So don't get all fucking weird and eugenics on me here, okay? That's an earned soul situation, God says, okay? And it's not better than anybody else. It's just your soul age is the percentage of Jesus that you had down here. Also, how big your role is going to be. And also the amount, but you'll see that. Because you'll see how all these Jesuses, like, who had larger percentages of Jesus, like, went through all this fucking distortion and still, like, turned out, like, towards God. Right? Which is a lot of neurodivergent people and people who are awakened right now. We have, like, larger chunks of Jesus in us. And then we're going to see, like, yeah, that's going to be, like, fun. We're going to have, like, the little lottery system. Like, how much percentage of Jesus were you during Ascension? And nobody's going to feel bad about it because, again, that's just your soul age. You're going to be like, oh, my gosh, like, I'm just younger. So I was a little naughty. And that's, like, why they bring down the Santa Claus and why Santa Claus and Christmas was tied to, again, Christmas, which is Jesus' birthday. Why did they do that? Because it's going to feel like Christmas when we go to heaven on earth and we realize we have all these Jesuses down here. Everybody's Jesus. Again, it's like, where's Waldo? Everybody's fucking Waldo. It's just everybody's different percentages of it, like the Divergent series. Isn't that so cool? That is so cool. So that'll be, like, super fun. Everything, like, so, well, yeah, like, what percentage of Jesus were you? Like, wow, that's, like, a lot. Like, how would you do that? And then they're gonna, like, show us, like, how you get, like, you create, they, like, show me, like, how to create an ascended master. And then they have, like, movies and stuff and all this. Well, actually, they're gonna help us with that. I don't know. But they just, like, show me, like, eventually we'll have, like, movies where it's, like, how do you create it? And then what they do is they show, like, our past lives, like, our, like, actual people's. Like, that's why they did the movies, like, Highlander and, like, all these different movies with, like, parallel life. There's actually, like, so many on Tubi. It's, like, crazy. Like, there's shows about it, like, parallel Earth dimension shows. I'm like, what the fuck? I never fucking heard of this fucking shit. They suppressed the fuck out of this fucking shit. And shout out to Tubi. I don't know how the hell the government's letting that slip by, but everybody needs to get on fucking Tubi. I will never shut up about that, because there's so many goddamn fucking movies and seeded transmissions on there that are, like, seeded us for this time. Because now it's going to be people's actual lives here on Earth, and that's what the aliens are going to bring. That's, like, their shit to do. You know, they wanted shit to do. Well, it's to tell us, like, how much our percentage of Jesus we are. You know, also our punishments. If you're, like, a larger percentage of Satan, you do have to get punished. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. But, like, not badly, you know. I don't know. They tell me there's pain simulators and stuff like that. So, and you really can't escape this. If you try to, they'll grab you from a parallel dimension and resurrect you from the dead, like they say in the Bible, because your soul has to, unfortunately. So I don't know. We'll see how that. Well, that's all. That's part of their shit to do. You know, also, and then, like, bringing footage of our past lives and also our lives now. So, like, you know, like I said, they're gonna have full blown footage of, like, when our oppressors were oppressing us and they were in denial of it, and then they're gonna have to, like, college study it, where the origin and where it came from, and all this crazy shit. And then, you know, also, like, our past lives and how we got here. So it's going to take our whole lives to learn about people. That's going to be so cool. Like, we're going to be, like, the new movies. We're going to be the new TV shows, like, that kind of stuff. It's all of our stories down here in hell. And isn't that so magical and fun? Is, like, the rest of our lives we get to tell stories. And, like, that's, of course, when Indigenous culture passed through. And, like, of course, Indigenous culture is the closest to ascension. And, you know, African culture as well. They pass stories on through the tribes. And even white people, we have our stories and stuff, but everybody loves stories. I get the song Stories from Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas. Oh my god, I'm just realizing that right now. That's insane, because it's, like, all about, like, she sings, like, the story song, and she talks about stories, and then, like, it's about Christmas. It's time. It's not the original Beauty and the Beast. It's the Enchanted Christmas, and that was my favorite one growing up. I loved it. I watched it way more than the original, so of course that was a seeded transmission for me. That's, like, the best seeded transmission of all fucking time. Like, it's literally amazing. Well, yeah, I say that every fucking one. I still think Harry Potter is, but that's a close second. It's the best Disney one. I don't know. There's a lot of good Disney ones, though. So, anyway. Yeah. So, this is, like, this is gonna be so fun. Eventually. And then I get the song Eventually by Tame Impala. And yeah, thank God I'm getting some more. I've just been in struggle bus sad time lately, like, stressy depressy, and God's got me, like, you know, in my element of, like, when I'm happy, when I, like, get these, like, information downloads and, like, TikToks. This is the shit I like to do, you know. That's why it's, like, so sad that I'm in, like, you know, stressy depressy time, because it takes me away from my passion and my happiness, because I have to go, like, stress out, you know. And I'm a human, so I have to. I can't, like, avoid it and pretend and stuff. I'm also autistic. I hate pretending. So, like, I have to go be stressy depressy, because God's, like, stressing me the fuck out. So I'm like, oh, I love when I get shit like this, and he gives me a goddamn fucking break from hell. Also why I'm convinced my channels are true and we're in hell, because I keep dipping back and forth between heaven and hell. Like, today I'd say right now I'm in heaven, you know, and I'm chilling, bro. But, oh my God, he's been dipping me in the wax of Satan.